Hey, I'm Nick Larson with Upland Gun Company here at Pine Ridge Grouse Camp today, along with Del Whitman of D.C. Whitman Custom Gunsmithing. We're doing gun fittings today, and we wanted to put together this video to show you more about the gun fitting process, what to expect, and how to get the most out of it. Del, what are we going to focus on today?
Hey, thanks, Nick. We're going to go over some fundamentals of good shooting technique that are necessary for a proper gun fit, and those things will include proper stance, being weight forward, proper head placement, and a good clean gun mount.
Looking forward to it, Del. If you want to learn more about one of our gun fitting events or build a gun on our website, you can do that at uplandguncompany.com.
There we go. The concept of gun fit sometimes is made to sound very alchemaic and witchcrafty and difficult to understand, and it's really not. When you properly mount the gun, it should shoot wherever you're looking and the bead is placed. You never want to shoot a shotgun like a rifle, but the analogy that, if I want to move the impact point of a rifle shot to the right, I'm going to move the rear sight to the right.
Correct, yeah.
Right, and in this case, the analogy would be this gun doesn't have a rear sight and your eye is the rear sight. By moving your eye around, I can change the impact point.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
There's 9 dimensions, data points that we use to create a 3-dimensional map of this stock that can be applied to a stock that you want to have altered or a new custom order stock, or it can be compared to guns that you shoot, so we can kind of give you some feedback on how that might be, and that's drop at face, nose, and heel. And those measurements are taken both horizontally and vertically, so the horizontal movement, or measurement back and forth is what we refer to as cast, and the up and down movement is what we call the drop. So you've got cast and drop at nose, cast and drop at face, cast and drop at heel. And then we have length of pull, which is the distance from the trigger, the front trigger and the side-by-side to the center of the heel. We have pitch, which is the angle of the butt plate. And then we have toe in and toe out, which means if we pin this, if we take a line on the center of the top of the comb, you can have that be stationary, and I can twist the toe in and toe out, and that would be to get that toe off of any sensitive area on the chest. So those are the numbers. And then during the gun fitting, how the gun fitting will work is, first off, we're going to go out to the front of the pad there, and I'm going to describe some basic principles of instinctive shooting that we'll need to use at the plate. Mm-hmm. And my goal is to change anything you're doing as little as possible. I want what we're doing here to reflect your nuances and style in the field, but there are a few very fundamental things that we have to do. So once we get the fundamental stuff down, then I'm going to demonstrate the gun mount to you, and obviously those two things are interrelated, and then you're going to be handling the gun. And while you're getting used to the gun and we're kind of working on making sure you're doing those things correctly, I'll be starting to assess your length of pull and your drop at heel. And I'll be telling you what I'm looking for with those things. So once we get those fundamental technique things done, we've roughly assessed your length of pull and your drop at heel. We'll go do what I refer to as the little dry fit part of the gun fitting. And we'll both recognize that the gun is empty and that I'm going to have you stand about 10 feet away and mount the gun and point it at my right eye. And that's really helpful because I can look down the barrels and there's a bunch of stuff I can ascertain there. I can see pretty quickly right away if you're going to start to have a real eye dominancy issue. I'll be able to see which eye and where you're looking down that sight plane. I can also see if you're canting the barrels a lot. Maybe you need more or less toe in or toe out because the toe in and toe out will obviously affect the horizontal orientation of the barrels. And then one of the more important things is I can look down under your mount and see where the toe is hitting you. So I can look in and see, is it digging into your chest? Is it way out? And that will tell me, being able to see the cant of the barrels and the toe placement at the same time tells me, what the relationship between those two things are for you. Then once we get that dry fit to where we think we're comfortable with it, and usually there's 2 to 4 shots at a given target, and then I'll take the average of that data and make a decision about how I'm going to move the stock around to shift your point of aim. I really don't want you thinking a lot about what's happening on the plate. That's for me to worry about, and for me to worry about this, and you just need to think about being consistent and focusing on the bead and focusing on the target and your gun mount. So
we're going to see how well
my flashlight
drills have done.
So we'll come out here. These three stance and positional things are just really fundamental and really important. Again, these are kind of the techniques from which almost all of their shooting styles spring. So the first one is to be at a 45-degree angle to the target or the line of your target. And that facilitates a couple things. One of the most important is when you're at that 45, it opens up your shoulder pocket. So it makes getting to the shoulder pocket with the butt much easier. So I can mount the gun like this, and it goes right into that pocket, and it's easy to get there, and it has stability there, and you can get it there consistently. If you're standing at too great an angle to the target, you can actually see I have closed off of that pocket. I've turned that pocket away from the butt. So if somebody has a stance that's like this, they'll mount the gun, and the butt's going to end up on the ball of their shoulder or out in their bicep, and that's A, that's not comfortable, and B, there's no consistency there. So we want to be at that 45-degree angle. The second one is being weight forward. So we want to be about 70 to 80% weight on our front foot. A lot of times I like to see my clients just lift their back heel up a little bit. And that's really important because it turns the whole front half of your body into a fulcrum, and it reduces the amount of energy that it takes to move. You're quicker, you're snappier, not as jerky. And if you think about it, it aligns the ball of your foot, which you should have your weight on, if you're weight forward, with your knee, with your hip, with your shoulder, and it turns the whole front of your body into a pivot. Very easy to move. And you can see my back foot is up. Very fluid movement there. And once you've got that weight forward, the second part is you have to have your head down on the stock, and you've got to open up the crease in your cheek and get it a little bit over, because again, we're trying to get our head over so it's aligned with the line of sight. So we have to get the comb into that valley that's formed by our jaw and our cheek. And it sounds counterintuitive, but if you have proper head placement over the comb, you can get your head down more, make more contact with less pressure, because you've created a spot for the comb to go. I have people do a little exercise where I say, take your finger, take the joint from here to here, get into your shooting stance and put it in your cheek, roll your cheek over a little bit and feel that slot. Mm-hmm. And then touch the side of your nose with the tip of your finger, even move it back and forth a little bit. That's how that comb should feel. Got it. In that crease in your cheek. So again, you've got your 45-degree weight forward stance. You're focusing on the target. You start mounting the gun. You hit your anchor in your shoulder pocket. Your face is down. You'll start concentrating on the bead in the target, and once you get the sight picture, you'll pull the trigger. So I will have you grab that and just kind of run yourself through that a few times. Pick your back foot up all the way, and then set it down. One more time. Actually, your gun mount looks really nice. It's very consistent. Your weight forward. I feel like from this angle looking, you're getting your head down pretty good. Maybe you need to maybe you need to roll your head just a little bit. That's not bad. I think I've got to adjust the length of the pole. It's way too long for you. So you are mounting the gun high up on the side of your face. Like, I don't see you really getting over on top of it, but I think that's because it's too long. Go ahead and have both eyes open, get into your stance, mount the gun, and as the gun hits your shoulder pocket and you're starting to settle it into your shoulder pocket and you're ready to get your cheek down, just close your eyes, close both eyes, and use your cheek to find the stock, not your eyes. And then get your head down to where you feel that in the proper, in the crease of your cheek, and then open your eyes and look where your head position is. And I think you might find it will be slightly different than from what you're seeing now.
I go there.
Yep, and you're still a little high. You're still a little high. It's a little bit different, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like that helps you kind of represent like how different that point of aim is going to be when you get your head over and down the way you should.
Okay, let me do that again. So
that's better. That's better. Yep. Let's Let's go ahead and make sure you don't have any ammunition on you.
I have none.
Okay, there you go. Get into your ready position. I'm gonna have you point directly at the tip of my finger right in my right eye.
Okay.
Yep, go ahead. Boy, that's not bad. If I had my camera on me, I would take a picture of you right now to just kind of show you what I'm looking for, but that looks really good. That's not gonna be bad at all. It looks like that toe's in a comfortable spot, so.
Okay.
We're gonna get ready and shoot a little bit here. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, that mount you just did there was perfect. I really saw you just turn your head in a little bit, and
Yeah.
and are you having any discomfort at all on your face? You
No.
feel okay? Good. And you're incredibly consistent here. Good, nice. That was right back in with mostly with the first two. So, and that's actually really good consistency for your first series. So.
Well, now we are to. You're gonna adjust the back of the gun now, right?
Yep. That's not bad. Those look good. Came down substantially. Now you moved over a little bit, but that can happen. You know, sometimes if I change I didn't change the cast adjustment. That's about as perfect as it gets. There's no more orange dot anymore there. We're pretty much there. Yeah.
If you want to learn more about one of our gun fitting events or build a gun on our website, you can do that at uplandguncompany.com.